Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today it was only meant to be a match preview ahead of the game against Hearts tomorrow. However, what a day for news. We have a lot of stories to try and cover, including the preview for the game against Hearts tomorrow. So let's just get into this without wasting much time, because we've got kit leaks to talk about, we've got contracts to talk about, and Brendan Rodgers is pulling the canteen staff out for photos. There's a lot. Welcome back. If you haven't, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. We're obviously trying to get towards 50,000 subscribers this week. Sorry, not this week. It would be a fucking miracle if it was this week. This year. So if you haven't, please drop down below. Hit both of those buttons. It's been absolutely free. Also, thank you for the support so far on the new second channel. If you haven't went and subscribed to that and you're a fan of wrestling, please drop down below and click the link for it. Shall we get into the news today, because we've got a hell of a lot to cover. Let's start with the home shirt that has been leaked for next season then, shall we? Let's just get that out the way. You know me, the kit connoisseur. I love my football kits. Do I love this one? No. That's probably the question you want me to answer. This is the image that's been doing the rounds and what looks like could be Celtic's home shirt for the 2024-25 campaign. The image was leaked this morning by a few people on social media. And if you're coming here hoping to hear that it's maybe fake, or you're wanting to tell me, Ryan, that's no it can't be it, let me tell you right now, that's it. That's the home shirt for next season. I can confidently say that. You just know when a shirt comes around. And I've seen a lot of people trying to get their hopes up and saying that this isn't the one. This is the one. This is it. It fits the mold to all the other templated kits that are coming out next season for Adidas. I'll put some of them on screen for you. This is the Celtic home kit for next year. So whether you like it or you hate it, get used to seeing it, because we're going to get the promotional photos and such soon of this new home kit. I'll keep it on screen for you to try and get used to for a moment. And can I just say very quickly, I don't hate it. I really don't. At first glance, I thought, oh no, not a fan of this. But the more I look at it, it's given me sort of mid-2000s vibes. You know, that kind of era of Adidas during the 2006 World Cup. It's kind of giving me vibes like that. And I quite like it. I think it's going to look a hell of a lot nicer when it's on somebody, and when we start getting the promotional photos. It's always the same every year when we get this first image of a home shirt and it's hanging on some shelf in a foreign country. We're all like, that looks horrible, that looks fake, it's disgusting, Adidas are terrible. Listen, I still think it's a very poor effort compared to what we should be expecting. I don't think it's great by any stretch of the imagination. All I'm saying is I don't really mind it as much as some people do. I think it's better than this year's shirt by all accounts. I think it's much better than the current home top that we have. And I'm looking forward to seeing it in all its glory over the next few weeks. So there's the home shirt. Let me know what you think of it. That's the early leaks anyway. We'll probably get better images and stuff soon to discuss. And when we do, of course, I'll be showing them on the channel. But yeah, it's okay. I don't mind it. I like the kind of Celtic design in the collar. I like the things coming up from the bottom of the shirt. Obviously, they'll probably lie just off your hips. I don't mind it. I really don't. I think there's been a lot worse, but Adidas have been giving us poor efforts, and that's one thing to be honest about. I think that the Adidas efforts since becoming the kit manufacturers haven't been to maybe the standard we were hoping for. I think that's definitely a case this year again with this leaked home shirt. But yeah, there you go. Leaked home shirt for next season. Let me know what you think. Let's get into the actual stories, shall we, for today. Liam Scales has signed a new 4-year contract at Celtic. It wasn't news that we expected this morning, but it's news that we certainly have got. This was the statement put out by Celtic this morning on CelticFC.com. Celtic Football Club are delighted to announce that Liam Scales has agreed a new 4-year deal, which will see him remain at the club until 2028. The Republic of Ireland internationalist has been a mainstay in the team this season, making 40 appearances to date across all competitions, with 1 goal to his name and a 2-0 win over Livingston. Liam Scales went on to comment, said, "I'm delighted to get this new contract and commit my future to Celtic. I've really enjoyed working under the gaffer and with such a great group of players this year. I look forward to doing so again in the coming seasons. I love being part of the great club, and I want to do all I can to contribute to Celtic and bring our fans as much success as we can. So there you go, a new 4-year contract for Liam Scales, which has not been met with much satisfaction online, I must say, but I'm going to try and be as positive as I can here, because I expected Scales to get a new contract. Maybe not a 4-year contract, but I did expect it to happen. Liam Scales, obviously signing from Shamrock Rovers a few years ago, probably wasn't on a huge wage and probably knew that he could get bigger money elsewhere if somebody fancied taking a gamble on him, maybe down south, maybe even higher up in the Scottish Premiership, because he wouldn't have been on a big wage at Celtic. Now this will be him getting something that probably brings him up in line with some of the other players in our squad, making him feel like he's more in the team and worth more to the team ultimately. And it's a contract that I did expect him to finally get. And listen, for as negative as some of us might be towards this announcement of Liam Scales getting a new contract, he has worked for it. He has earned it. And I don't think he's been fantastic, especially over the past couple of months. I think he's really kind of started going down in his performances. I don't think they're the same level as they were when he first came into the team. But he's certainly worked hard. He's held that place down. He's contributed as much as he can to this team. And he deserves an extension of some form. It's just now the details around that extension which I think are getting people a little bit up in arms about, which is understandable. I am more than fine with Liam Scales signing this new contract to be a squad player at Celtic, but that's got to be it for me. This can't be a contract that's guaranteeing him a spot as Cameron Carter-Vickers' partner next season and beyond that. And I mean it with all due respect to Liam Scales, but he's not the answer to the problem at centre-half. He's not. And we've seen that in recent weeks and months, that the standard and the quality that drops off between him and Vickers and, you know, even Starfelt, who was once with us, it's a big gap. It's a gulf in class between the quality that we should be expecting in that area. I'm more than fine with him getting that contract if he's happy to commit and stay as a squad player. But there has to be other centre-halves signed. There has to be a starting centre-half signed. And I don't even think Liam Scales should be the go-to backup straight away either, if you were to ask me. He's worked hard for it, and congratulations to him. He deserves this new contract. I think a lot of the stick that Liam Scales is getting comes after the announcement of season ticket renewals, which we'll come on to very quickly in this video. A lot of people not happy that we're getting forced to shell out 500, 600, maybe more for some folk, pounds to then go out and give Liam Scales a contract, because a lot of people really don't think he should be getting one. Which actually kind of shocks me. I didn't think that the kind of criticism of Liam Scales ran so deep, but when you look at the replies under the posts, oh god, it's not been met with a warm reception. And I didn't think it would be as drastic as that, but I think they've timed it really poorly with this season ticket announcement. Because people demand more, and we should demand more. Liam Scales isn't somebody who's going to bring this team success in European football and long-term success. He's somebody who's here to make up the numbers in my eyes. And listen, if that's going to be his place in the team, that's absolutely fine with me. But we do need to recruit. We do need to spend money on contracts for players who are improving that position. And right now, Liam Scales isn't improving that position, in me and a lot of people's opinions. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens from it. But it's a new contract for Scalesy. I think it's that ultimately the number that's really throwing people off. 4 years. Is it a bit much? Is it too much of a contract? I think people were maybe expecting a 1-2 year extension, including myself. So when you hear a 4-year deal, you know, usually that's the kind of deal that you're giving out to your best players, that you're giving out to your Carter-Vickers, your Hitatis, your O'Reillys. You don't really associate these big bumper contracts with Liam Scales and with squad players. So I think people are really mixed on this one. So yeah, it's genuinely just such a subjective issue, isn't it? You've got people who love it, you've got people who hate it, but it is what it is. Listen, if Celtic do their business and their due diligence in that area in the transfer window, I'm not going to give too much of a toss. But we'll see how it all plays out. So, Brendan Rodgers, he's done it. Manager of the Month for April. He was named this morning as the winner of the award, his second of the season for Manager of the Month awards. And just because he's such an egotistical bastard, he's had to one-up Ange Postecoglou, hasn't he? We remember Ange getting his photos with the staff, bringing them all out to make it about everybody rather than just him. Well, Brendan Rodgers has took it to the next level, hasn't he? He's had to take it one step further. The catering staff and everything are out in this photo. It's a full portrait. It'll be getting hung in the ceiling of Lennoxtown. It'll be painted onto the roof. Fantastic from Brendan Rodgers. You've got to love it. Look, listen, anything Ange can do, Rodgers can do better. I've always said it, and I was right in my estimations, wasn't I? You've got to love him. A man of the people, Brendan, and that's why you've got to adore him. So fantastic for him. Congratulations to the Brodge, and hopefully another one to join the cabinet when he wins it for May, maybe? Who knows? Don't want to speak too soon. As we mentioned earlier on in the video, season ticket renewals are underway, which is one of the things that I think hasn't helped Liam Scales' contract announcement this morning, because Celtic fans get very irritated when the clubs start asking for money, and that's what they've done today. The statement came out, big whole marketing campaign as usual. They've dubbed this one 60,000 Stories, One Celtic, a message from the manager. Brendan Rodgers writing a letter to supporters. I'll have a screenshot of some of it on screen, but it's basically just the manager's kind way of asking for all your fucking money. Season tickets are out, different prices for some people. Mine's coming in at 580 quid, which works out at around £30 a game for the 19 league home games. They're getting dearer and dearer every year. I think it's a £20 rise from what I paid last year. I know some people getting asked to shell out as much as 650 quid, I think. There might be some of you out there who are getting asked to pay more if you've got main stand tickets or whatever, but a hell of a lot of money. And I can understand why fans are frustrated that it's getting put towards a Liam Scales contract rather than signings. So, when the club ask for all this money, we know what it all leads to. It's a vicious cycle. By the end of the summer, we'll all be ranting and we'll all be shouting about how they've not spent enough in the window. They need to reward the supporters for their continued backing and continued support of the club and the team, because this isn't easy to part ways with. 500, 600, 700 pounds. That's the difference for some people are keeping the house warm through the summer, I don't know why you'd want to keep it warm during the summer if the weather's good, but you know what I'm saying. It's the difference between, your messages and whatever else. It's a lot of money that they're asking supporters for, and we should be rewarded with the club being back, the manager being back throughout the summer window. So hopefully we see that. But yeah, season ticket renewals underway. A painful one for bank accounts around Glasgow, I'm sure. And finally, it's time to talk about tomorrow. Very briefly, Celtic take on Hearts in the Scottish Premiership. The league table on screen. We know exactly what we're dealing with. It's a must-win. It's a cup final. And listen, Hearts, out of every team in this split, would love to be the ones that stop Celtic from winning a league title. I tell you, I think the Hearts would love it more than Rangers would. I tell you that right now. So tomorrow they're going to go for it. And we've not been great against Hearts this season. They've beaten us twice. They've handed us 2 of our 3 league losses this season. They'll be more than up for the fight. But we know exactly what we have to do. The good news is the images started coming out this morning. Dyson Maeda is back in training. Yes, he's been spotted at Lennoxtown doing the runs. He's been there all week. I told you on Monday I had a very good feeling. I tried to say it without giving it away, but I knew he was in training. I just wasn't allowed to say anything. So I kept my wish. He's been in training all week. He's been there since Monday, and they finally put out the images this morning. So happy days. Nice to see the photos and videos of him. Will he make it to the starting 11? I don't know. Here is my starting 11 prediction. I've not put him there. I don't think they're going to rush him back in quite yet. They might, and I wouldn't mind it if they do, because I think we need them. But I think they might stick with Forrest and Kuhn as the 2 wingers for the game tomorrow. Aside from that, don't see many changes. People might ask, Ryan, do you think McGregor should be starting? Do you think he's able to start? I don't know. I've just got him in there for now. It could be a Wata, to be quite honest. But that's my team prediction on screen there. We need to win the game. If we win the game, we head into that derby next week with a 3-point advantage. So it's of paramount importance. It could be more than 3 points. Depends what Rangers do on Sunday, of course. But hypothetically speaking, I think, or prematurely speaking, sorry, I think that we will be 3 points ahead. So win, please, Celtic, please. Phew. Right, thank you. That does it for today. I've not even got to this. I hate it because all week it's quiet and there's nothing to talk about. And then bang, in the one day you've got leaked kits, new contracts, season ticket renewals, manager of the month, Dyson Maeda return. You've got everything in one day. So I've tried my best to break down all of it as much as I can, as detailed as I can. We'll probably dance over more of these things next week individually and talk about them and such, so in live streams or whatever. So make sure to hit like and subscribe and stay with me. Word of warning before you ask, there won't be a match reaction tomorrow. I'm sorry, I know 2 weeks in a row there won't be a match reaction. I've actually got a stag do tomorrow. I'm a groomsman at a wedding this summer. The stag do's tomorrow. I won't even be at the game, which is annoying, but this was well organised before the split fixtures were announced, so it's just my luck. So I'll be watching the game back tomorrow night when I'm home. Match reaction will be up on Sunday. Keep that in mind if you're wondering where I am, if you've made it to this point in the video, that is. Right, I've been talking too long. Like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.